Okay, we're live LinkedIn, live YouTube, all set to go. If you are somebody who wants to learn more about selling yourself to protect your career and protect yourself in your job or find another job really quickly, if you're somebody who wants to pitch your projects and do your internal improvements and the internal activity in your organization be more influential, if you are somebody who wants to help grow your organization and get more customers, listen up, we've cracked the code. I've got lots of resources here. Hi, my name's Kobe Simmet. I'm the CEO of bestpractice.biz. And today I've got some information to help you guys with those three components. So really this is about sales, it's about influence. It's something that I've been talking about for 4 or 5 years with our team. And I thought it'd be relevant for you guys to really think about this right now with the global economy going into recession, caused obviously or triggered by the catalyst of the COVID-19 crisis. It is important now more than ever to really understand what your parallel competencies are. It's all too easy to go really deep into our career path and read all the books and understand all the science and the context around our specific job. So if you're in human resources, if you're in recruitment, if you're in administration, if you're a quality manager, a safety manager, if you're a CEO, if you're an accountant, you can spend lots and lots of time going really deep on the technical content around your particular role. Today is really about understanding the parallel competencies. And I'm going to speak from my own experience. I know everything that there is to know about lots of different types of legislation, compliance, business management systems, how to organize businesses, how to do job descriptions, write manuals, policies and procedures. And although I've been selling for probably 30 years, since I was 15 years old, it is something that I've really more recently started to really go, you know what, I'm not yet competent at sales and selling to be able to talk, I can talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles, as you guys already know, but it is something to say, okay, well, what are some of the most successful salespeople on the planet? What are they doing? What are they writing about? How are they doing that? So that I know that I'm a high performance individual in that space, because that allows me to completely control my destiny. If your financial destiny is predicated on a salary or a wage from an employer, you need to learn how to sell, because you need to keep yourself in that position. Like right now, every single body's job in every single employee in every single organization is being analyzed to see if an organization can be made more efficient. So with literally no notice, you could be out of employment. And so it is very important to understand very clearly what your customer, your boss, really needs to be doing, so that you're providing exactly the right value, not what you think the value is, exactly what the value is in exchange for your wage or salary. And that's the first thing that we need to understand. If you are selling, and it's your organization that you're selling, or your products and services that you're selling, and it's really important for you guys to understand exactly what is the benefit that you're exchanging for money with your customer, not the features. It's not about that. This is about understanding what you're specifically selling. And then more importantly, right in the middle is the project management side of working in your business. If you're an internal influencer and you want to be more influential, it's exactly the same. You're asking people to do things, you're trying to organize the organization, and you're trying to work out how to sell. So I've got obviously the LinkedIn Live dashboard. I can see all of your comments. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching live on LinkedIn, if you're watching live on YouTube, let me know where you're watching from. It'd be really great to see where you guys are coming in from. If you have got questions, I've got a dashboard there where I can see the YouTube comments. If you're watching this after the live event, still comment, ask your questions, because you get notifications on both of these posts after they go live. Okay, so let's get into it. So I'm going to talk generically about sales, influence, and selling, and it applies to you selling yourself to get a job. It applies if you're trying to pitch a project to different people in your organization, or hey Zach, good to chat this morning, Zach. So it's something that I want you to think about, and then also equally if you're selling products and services for your organization. Every sale has an open and a close. So we have this this pipeline, or this line in terms of the sale. Every sale, whether it's you going for a job and you're selling yourself, whether it's a project in your organization and you're selling your idea, whether it's a product or service that your organization makes, every sale is exactly the same. It has an open and it has a close. What we need to talk about is how we move people from the open to the close, and the close is the agreement, to have an exchange. And as we talk about, you guys as employees or you guys as people pitching your idea, that's the agreement to actually make the change and to create something new, which is value exchange. So it's exchanging money for products and services, but it's giving more benefit to people and it's making the world a better place. So what I guess is important to recognize about sales is a couple of things. The first thing is that sales can obviously be, a lot of people will stay away from it because people have given it a bad name. So if you talk about, sales, I'll just put this back up, sales and selling, what has happened is that it's been given a bad name. And I'll give you an analogy. A used car salesman, we can talk about, like overanalyzing that character, if you like. They've got a lot full of used cars. They've maybe got unknown history or they've got known history. There's potentially problems and they're selling what they've got there on the lot, and they're basically trying to get anybody that walks in the door to get in those vehicles, hand over their money, throw them the keys and drive off with a used car. And so what we talk about there is this joke, which is showing up and throwing up. Now, what I want to say to you is that if we think about going shopping, morning Stan, so let me know where you're watching from, let me know if you're watching, everyone that's come online. What I want you to think about from a selling perspective, or what I want you to think about is shopping. Put yourself right now into amazing situations when you've been a buyer. Think about being a buyer, thinking about an amazing experience where you purchased something that really helped change your life, you purchased something from somebody who was really helping you, you purchased, it was an amazing buying experience, or it was an experience where you bought something. I want you to think about this. When you go shopping, and that could be business purchasing, or it could be, for your own self when you go shopping, it's far easier and sometimes a lot of fun to go shopping with friends than it is to be standing looking at a product and the salesman is actually, or salesperson is standing there next to the product trying to sell that product to you, trying to get you to take that product. So the first goal here is to really understand and deploy some empathy. Hey, Charles, it's really important for someone to, think about from an empathetic perspective that if you can stand as a salesperson or an influencer, if you can stand beside that person, then you can see life from their perspective, from their angle, from their context. And that's the first thing that we need to be doing is we're saying, okay, sales and selling is about, it's easier to go shopping with friends. So it's more important than anything else to be friendly with everybody in this instance. And the quick hack there is don't show up and throw up. I don't want you to show up and throw up. And that too often we show up and we say, I've got, there's amazing features with this particular iPhone. It's got all these great benefits. It's black. It's got this screen. It's got notifications. It's got an amazing camera. It's got battery life. I can have all these apps. It's absolutely incredible. Your buyer is not interested in your features. So don't talk about your features until they start asking you about how long it is, how wide it is, all those sorts of things. It's important for you to be asking lots of questions. The salesperson's job, the person doing the influencing and selling, it is very important to be ending almost all of your sentences with a question mark, not with a full stop. And so we want to divide the sales and influencing process, if you like, from the open to the close. We want to start by saying we need to ask thousands and thousands of questions. And that's your first goal in terms of this influencing process. I want to get straight into how do we do this. So whether it's you selling yourself or whether it is you selling a product or you selling an idea, the first thing you need to do is massive information gathering. And I'll just put this down and then we can start talking about it. So this information that I'm talking about right now, and I'm distilling it down, comes from this particular book, which I've talked a lot about in the past, which is The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. So what I do now, and I've always done it, I just didn't realize that I did it. So for a very long time, I've always had a big, long list of questions. So I've always had probably 25 to 30 standard questions that I ask, which is part of my massive information gathering. And I want you guys to be thinking about that. When you're thinking about networking, when you're thinking about talking to people, what are the 30 to 50 questions that you ask? And why are we doing that? Because we really want to unpack if someone's got the problem that you solve. You've got a generic product or service. You can customize it a little bit, but it solves a problem. You don't want to tell people the problem you solve. You want to understand up front, because you're a friend, hey, I just want to understand the problems and challenges that you have. So the first thing we need to do is this massive information gathering. That's the first part. And that's lots of questions. Before we move on, we want to get really clear on the problem, the challenge, the timeline, the pain that people are feeling. What is the opportunity that exists? The opportunity is to help one of your friends, remember about being friendly, solve a problem, and you're helping them, you're facilitating them to get what they want out of life. So it's not about, and I know Stan, as an example, works with government people and you can't be too friendly with them, but these are people that you can consider, over time to be friends with, to go to the kid's first birthday party, to have a beautiful dinner with, to hang out with on the weekend, to go to the beach with, whatever that might be. You become friends with these people. And because you're becoming friends with them, it's about ethics and it's about morals. And ethics and morals in sales is about not selling something to someone who doesn't have a specific problem, the specific problem that the thing, the product or service that you sell solves. So we want to get really clear on that. Part of this massive information gathering is starting to understand the context and the situation of people that we're involved in. Now, you can do this massive information gathering, and I'm doing it right now. I always do it, but I'm doing it now more than ever to understand how we pivot. What is over here is our presentation of our product or service. So what I'm doing right now is I'm validating. We've got amazing information here at Best Practice. We have a whole selling system. I'm writing a manual at the moment that I'm using on myself, not for anybody else to read, but to use on myself to improve our sales and selling and our business development to significantly scale up and grow our business. Will I share it with you? Maybe down the track when I'm happy with it, but I'm using it on myself to prove that I'm right, and I'm using it as a coaching product because I haven't been able to find the right mirror to hold up in front of myself to actually get me moving as fast as I want to go. So what I'm doing right now, will that solve your problem? Maybe, but I'm not going to tell you any more about that or show that to you until I fully understand what your problem is. And I know there's some guys here that would love to see that because you guys know that I write gold and I've got gold information, but I'm down in the gold mine at the moment. I don't know if I've found the gold or I've created the gold, but I'm in my lab coming up with something that you guys will all be very excited about. But I don't know if it solves your problem. So I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not going to take your money until I'm absolutely convinced that it will give you 1,000% return on your investment. So, and that's part of my ethics. So over here, what I'm doing is I'm doing this free stuff for you first to talk about the concepts. So massive information gathering is before, absolutely before, you do presentation of your product or service. Now over here, you must be very clear on what is the problem you are solving. Now let me just say, my iPhone is black and it's got a great camera, but I wasn't looking for a black iPhone. So yes, it's a feature. You can talk about the feature and you can say, hey, this is amazing, it's great, it's black, it'll go with your jeans, for example. It wasn't what I was looking for. What was I looking for? I was looking for a smartphone. The most important thing, the best benefit that this gives me is with a Telstra SIM card with good internet connection is it gives me access to every single cloud-based computer system and hosting service that we use at Best Practice. That's the first thing it does. I hardly use it as a phone at all. I don't talk on it anywhere near as much as I talk to you guys through these cameras. So it's not for me a phone, it's a mini computer. And that's the benefit I'm looking for. In my pocket access, with a bit of mucking around and expanding screens and apps and things like that, and shortcuts and hacks, gives me access to everything in my pocket when I've got an internet connection. And that's the most important thing for me. I don't need to carry my laptop or my iPad around. I just grab this when I leave the house. Now, the other thing that it could do, it's got a feature. You can use Apple Pay. I don't use Apple Pay. It's not a feature I'm interested in. Here's my wallet, and here's my Best Practice credit card. So, yeah, of course I could use Apple Pay. Apple Pay, it's not a feature I'm looking for. I'm not looking for something that's bigger than a credit card to pay for things. I've got a credit card. It's tiny. It's minute. It's lightweight. It doesn't break when you drop it. Why would I change that? I'm not looking for that. If I was looking for If I had a problem where I've got too many things in my pockets, or I've only got one pocket, how do I get everything into one thing? Then maybe that would be a solution to the problem. What for me, in my situation, I don't really care about the camera, although I think it's cool. It's a benefit. What I really care about is the fact that it's a mini computer and it's in my pocket and allows me to run my business. I can run all of best practice and everything we do, including the YouTube channel, the training academy, the Facebook pages, all of the social media, the financial system, the banking system. I can run everything from this small little mini computer. So it gives me a huge advantage in life, and it's only $1,000. That MacBook Pro that I've got is a $3,000 device. Here it is right here. I've got a $3,000 device here that's big, it's clunky, you know, it needs power to be charged, all that sort of stuff. It's not with me, it doesn't fit in my pocket. So it doesn't give me exactly what I want out of life. So I want you to think about that when you're selling, think about your product or service. What do your customers want to get? Stan Wall, give you an example. What is the problem you're solving? You're solving confidence, public liability confidence. Charles, what are you solving? You're solving people's ability to tell a story because they don't know how to get their story out there. That's the benefit. You're giving people the benefit of being able to get their story out there. It's not that there's a feature, you know, I'm sorry to criticize you, but it's not a feature that it's a gift for people for Christmas. There's thousands of things you can buy people for Christmas. It's not a gift for clients. That's the true problem that you solved for me was my ability to start telling my story, how to talk in front of a camera, to practice in a curated environment. The Charles Fairley project, 50 Unsung Business Heroes. Charles, put the link to your website in the comments. Hey, Leslie from Black Lab. Leslie, by the way, everybody's right outside the door. I want you guys to do that. So Charles, put the link to your comment. This post is for you. Everybody put a link to your own website in the comments so everybody can see who's watching and you can go and check out everybody's businesses. Let's do that. That's a great exercise. So you can start networking with each other. Niraj, hello from Perth. Duncan Cameron, excellent. I agree. That's the best way to be running your business, only from your phone. And I do 95% of it from my iPhone. So what's the problem you're solving? Stan, you're solving a problem where you're providing confidence on the management of public liability. Charles, for me, in my context, because I was a customer, my ability to start telling my story and give me some confidence and momentum. And I think that's a good focus point for you. Leslie, you know, taking retail solutions and bringing them to fruition to help customers more easily access the products and services at the point of sale in places like Woolworths and the different supermarkets. Helping the big supermarkets right now give some confidence to their customers with your hand sanitizer units. So it's helping retailers, you know, have a better experience for their customers. That's what you're doing, Leslie. That's what you're selling. You know, we were talking about a really big project this morning. You're going to, so from that perspective, you're going to be helping bring awareness to different products and services inside a retail space with the really big project we were talking about. Helping the managing director of that big organization bring awareness within and communicate more effectively because he's a retailer. Excellent. Everybody start posting your website. So anyone watching, even if you're watching after the event, if you are somebody who's running an organization, if you're somebody who is part of an organization, start posting where you're from so I can get a bit of a sense and I can give you some more context around what I'm doing, and equally starting to share if there are organizations or people you're thinking of while I'm doing this for you guys, share their organizations afterwards and I can get in and give you guys a bit more context. Okay, let's get along this. So you want to be very clear about the problem you're solving, then you go and do your massive information gathering because that's going to help you filter who to talk to. And I think one of the biggest things that we do is we do waste a lot of time at the top of our funnel talking to lots of people, and that's okay. You've got to start asking questions. You've got to get on the front foot. If you sit back and wait for people to ask your questions, then you're not going to get anywhere. Excellent, Stan Wall. The Alchemist by Paul Coelho is an excellent book. But yes, I am also an alchemist today. I was actually standing last night, I was looking at, can't find my copy of The Alchemist by Paul Coelho, but that's something that I'm looking at. But, that's what I am today. So let's look at that. What is the problem solving? It's almost like, you know, be clear on the problem. Maybe that sits up here at the beginning. What is the problem you solve? and get really clear. You want to get really clear on the benefits. So get really clear when you're doing this massive information gathering and talking to people, what are the benefits that this person is looking for? What is that focus point? Presentation, and then obviously close. Now, in this close process, what we're dealing with is objections. We're dealing with objections. We're dealing with no. We're dealing with don't like it. That's part of this process. Too many people are like, I don't want to do sales because I hate getting rejected and I hate getting pushed back. That's the objective of the exercise. The objective of the exercise is to help people feel more confident. All that's happening over here as you move through the process is this is confidence. And this is, apologize. This is the level of confidence. And this is time. And over time, we want our customers to feel more confident than they need to be to make a decision. That's our goal. Very, very confident. We want to get them from not very confident to very, very confident to get that over the line. So that is it. Massive information gathering, product presentation, and then objections. Now, what happens is you're going to keep looping back. If you're getting an objection, you didn't collect enough information. You keep going through and pushing your concept, pushing your idea in one direction from the open to the close. You get an objection, I stuffed up. If you get an objection, you did the wrong thing. It's not them. It's got nothing to do with what you look like, what you smell like, how you speak. It's about the fact that they can't see the pathway to the benefit that they want in life. So massive information gathering is what are the benefits they are looking for. Start a spreadsheet for every single deal that you're opening. Get very clear with each of those deals, with each of those customers, what's the specific benefit that they're looking for. Because then you can circle back and you can say, hey, you just said no, but I thought you were looking for this benefit in life. I thought you were looking for a mini computer that you can run your whole business on. I've got it for you, it's right here. Let me show it to you. Let me show how it can happen. Let me show you what life's going to be like. Let me give you the experience. If you can do samples, if you can do free work for people, those sorts of things so that they can see the place past the close. This is what it looks like. I've been texting backwards and forwards with a very good friend of mine this morning, giving her some confidence. Just because we're working on closing a deal and we're going to be doing commercially interacting with each other, the whole purpose of the exercise is for me to show her what it's like continuing to work with me after the fact. I need to move on and get you some more concepts. Part of this exercise, I do a screenshot right now. If you know how to do a screenshot, I'll keep a record of the time. We're about 25 minutes in. You can come back to this point in time, 25 minutes in, and come back to this and get a picture of this. But massive information gathering, presentation of product or service, dealing with objections. Once you've got a tick on all of the objections, I guarantee you will get a yes. Why do I guarantee that? Because you were very clear that you can give them the benefits they want. You presented your product or service professionally. You dealt with all of their objections and they said yes. Now you are delivering the benefits they want in life. And that is an ethical sales process. Let's do a deep dive now into some of the steps. Some of my top tips on the biggest things that people fail to do. There's the 3 F's that I'm going to quickly talk about. The first one that people fail to do in sales effectively, and I'm guilty as everybody in this. This is why we build CRM. So it's F1 is follow up. F2, and I'm guilty of not doing this, is follow through. And F3 is follow back. Follow up, pretty straightforward. What is your cadence of follow up? Why are we following up? We're following up to ask for objections. We are asking for objections. Tell me why we're not doing business together right now. Tell me what the reasons are. And then you can build what's called a map. What's a map? Is a mutual activity plan. Build a mutual activity plan. You've got jobs to do, they've got jobs to do. You've got tasks to do, they've got tasks to do. Can they buy your service? Have they got the money? Are they the decision maker? Who are all the different people you need to be talking to? I was in a meeting this morning. We haven't worked out the 10 people that we need to be talking to. The deal's not progressing. We're only talking to one person. And that one person's not telling us all the blockages and all the objections. We've got to talk to those 10 people so we can find out all of the objections and solve all of the objections. My brother was involved in that conversation. He's one of the best salespeople on the planet, almost as good as me. There's a bit of brotherly competitive tension. He's going to get better. I've got 10 years more experience on him. By the time he gets to my age, he'll probably be far better than me at this point in time. But I'll be 10 years ahead and I'll be even better by then. Anyway, there you go. You can give him a nudge, tag him at Dane Simmet, tag him on LinkedIn in the comments. From that perspective, we need to build a mutual activity plan. And what we need to be doing is starting to say, well, what do they need to do? They need to get the procurement process sorted out. They need to figure out how they're going to send us all this money that we're asking for in exchange for the benefits. They want the benefits, but they haven't figured out the pathway to actually hand over the cash. So say hi and let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching on LinkedIn, there's some great websites and some great people that have tagged themselves there and put their websites in. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to tag your organisation so you can bring some awareness to it and I can see it and go look at it later on. If there's anybody who should be watching this, if you're thinking about people right now, tag them in the comments on LinkedIn specifically. Okay, so follow up, pretty straightforward. What is your cadence? It's not one call, it's not two calls. I want to give you a target. Right now, the number of touch points, the target for most organizations is well over 24. 24 follow-ups per person that you're talking to in the deal. If there's 10 people in the deal, it's 240 touch points to get that big deal over the line. So be aware of that. If you've made 5 phone calls or had 2 meetings, you've still got 238 meetings to go. So be aware of that. These big deals take a lot of work. It's customer acquisition cost, the investment to win that customer, the sales and marketing costs to bring that work in. You've got to spend money, you've got to spend time to make money. The bigger the deal, the more effort it takes. And we are all underestimating, and I'm guilty of this. I've been underestimating for all of this time the amount of work it takes to close these deals. Follow through is, from your mutual activity plan, do what you said you would do. This is not rocket science. I am fucking hopeless at this. I am so busy that I forget to do that stuff. And I'm increasingly getting better at getting my team to follow through and do the things to help me with this. And so I've had to help. I've had to ask for help. I've had to pay money in salaries and wages. I've had to get people on board, interview them, and say, hey guys, I need you behind me doing this, helping me with my mutual activity plan and making sure we're on the front foot doing all the things that we promised to do. We follow through. Now follow back. What's this all about? Follow back is the people that are not in the market buying right now. This book, I've talked about it in the past, The Ultimate Sales Machine. What Chet Holmes says, and I can't see any other data to contradict this, is he says that only 3% of buyers, or of potential buyers, only 3% are in the market. Now, if you did a job description search or job title search on LinkedIn, and you were able to identify every single potential person that would ever buy your product or service, which then is the whole market, only 3% of those people are in the market to buy right now. So there we go. Leslie thinks Dane's the best. So from that perspective, what I want you to understand right now is that follow back is for the 97% of buyers and people that are not in the market right now. And this is what you could also call branding. And I want you to understand that we get frustrated that we got a no from somebody, which was no. I'm not looking to buy that benefit right now or already buying the benefit from someone else. That's because the statistics are that there's only 3% right now. So of everybody here in this group that's watching right now, only 3% of you will be in the market for a fridge. If you're in the market to buy a refrigerator right now, say yes. If you're in the market right now to buy a car, say yes. the statistics are that 3% of this community right now, if I was selling cars, will be in the market to buy a car. Now, it's your job, obviously, as a salesperson to get that number to be bigger, but the stats are that it's about 3%. So it's very important to be constantly doing branding. But this is the kind of stuff about staying in contact, commenting on posts, doing all of those cool, great things that are part of your branding and awareness strategy, that are part of staying in one-to-one, first-name basis contact with people that you can help bring benefit to down the track. So follow up, follow through, follow back are the principles there. Now, I need to talk about you guys. I'm here for questions as well, so if you have got questions, if there's anybody there that needs to be talked about, or you need to drop websites in, please let me know. I can't see the dashboard on YouTube, Luke. Actually, I can see it. Okay, we're all good. Okay, so if you've got comments there, if you've got questions, please let me know. Okay, one more piece of gold information is a self-assessment. I want you to do self-assessment on yourself. Now, don't forget, this is applying to projects, pitching projects in your organization. It's you selling yourself. If you're unemployed and you're looking for a job right now, what is the problem that they're trying to solve, which is why they're talking to you about a role, or you're looking for a role? What is the benefit that you will bring them in life? And then when can you do that for them? And how much money they got to exchange for that? So you're still going through massive information gathering, presentation. So starting interviews with questions. You're not starting an interview with showing up and throwing up. You're asking questions. You're getting them to say, so that I can make sure that I'm the right fit for the role, so that I can make sure that my product or service or the thing I've got is fit for you, and so that I can understand that the thing that I've got will bring benefit to you, I'd like to ask you some questions. Is that okay? And that's how you start the massive information gathering process. Okay, the next thing is a self-assessment on you. You have to be critical. Your product or service, and the brand. And this is what we call the 3 10s. It goes from 0 to 10, and from 0 to 10, and from 0 to 10. And you've got person 1, and you've got person 2, and you've got person 3, and you've got person 4. Now, if that's an interview panel, or if that's a client panel, or if that's a group of people that you're selling to, or if that's a husband and wife and you're selling them a car or refrigerator, person 1, not what you rank yourself, because you will over rank yourself. I want you guys to rank me on a scale of 0 to 10 right now in terms of trust. Do you trust me? Put a comment there. Do you trust me in terms of what I do, what I sell, what I'm doing? That's feedback for me, because until somebody has a 10, they are not going to listen to me. They're not going to do what I'm asking them to do. They're not convinced that I can help. So on a scale of 0 to 10, you need to rank yourself, and you need to be at a 10 so you become a trusted advisor. This is trust. Do they trust you? Do they like you? Do they agree with you? Are you doing the right things to get from 0 to 10? So person number 1. Now, if you're in a multi-person deal, that's a bigger deal. Person 1, you need to get them up the scale. You need to be starting to understand them, talking to them, helping them so that you become a trusted, friendly advisor. The next thing there I want you to understand from your product or service, what are you? Are you a 5? Are you a 6? Are you a 7? What are you? Maybe you're a 7 up here. Maybe down here on brand you're a 4. You need to rank. You need to think about this. For person 1 over here, what's their score on you? And you need to get them up to a 10. Person number 1, your product or service. How would they rank it on a score of 0 to 10 right now? You need to get it up to a 10. Person number 1 on brand. What do they think of your brand? And these are what we call the 3 10s, Out of the Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. So what we're saying is that person 1, and this is what we've been doing, we've been analysing. We're not doing it very well. We need to get better at it. We've been analysing each of the people in the deal, and we're saying, okay, how do we get you as the salesperson to a 10? You might be able to think of somebody you've dealt with at best practice, and you wouldn't necessarily give them a 10. Thank you, Stan. I appreciate that, 10. Your product or service. If I was selling you sales and consulting services, because it's fresh and it's version 1 and it's not improved yet, you might only be a 6. And you might say, no, I want to see some examples of it in use. I want to see other people doing it. I want to see some case studies. And then that will help me feel more confident. And I will trust the product is going to solve my problems and bring me the benefits I'm looking for in life. Then down here on brand, we've got to get our brand up to a 10. So person 1, how do they rate the brand? Maybe it's a 4. I don't know much about the brand. I don't know. Look, honestly, I don't know much, so I can't give you more than a 5. I'm on the fence. Like, it's not bad, but it's not good. I don't know where it is. Okay, you got to educate them on the brand. So the question is, what do you do about this? So you need to be tracking a set of actions. Now, I do this all in my head, and I apologize that I haven't got like a system or a spreadsheet to do this, but I look at person number 1, and I say, right, where am I at? I'm at a 10. Okay, good. I need to maintain that. Now I need to get them up to a 10 on my product or service and prove to them that my product or service will bring me the benefits that they're looking for in exchange for money, obviously. And then from a brand perspective, I need to make sure my brand is at a 10 and that my brand is trustworthy and that they know that if something goes wrong, I'm going to step in really quickly and I'm going to solve it and I'm going to continue to bring massive value to them. And so that's your challenge for all of you. You need, it's important that person 1, 2, 3, 4 is as high on this scale as possible. Now, when they're a 10, they will see massive value, they will trust you, and they will agree. So those are what we call the 3 10s. Make sense? Okay, has anyone got any questions? Any questions there? Not yet? Okay, I'll keep going. I've got one more piece of gold for you guys that I want to quickly talk about. I want you guys to audit yourselves. And I want you guys to really think about your priorities. And I want you guys to think about what your action plan is. So from 5 a.m. in the morning to 10 p.m. at night, what are you up to? And I want to audit your time. And then you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it is really important, and I was in a conversation this morning where I don't think people are really thinking about the hours that they're prepared to invest through the week to actually achieve their goal. And specifically people who are unemployed, I'm not seeing, from a bunch of people that are reaching out to me that are unemployed, I'm not seeing that their activity maps against their goal. They're like, yeah, I spent an hour on LinkedIn this morning, and I had a bit of a look, and then I went for a walk, and I went to the shopping, and then I watched some Netflix. If you are unemployed right now, you should be doing a 100-hour week. You should be making phone calls, calling people, sending direct messages, learning about people, pivoting, doing some training, sharpening your saw, cleaning your tools, still being in work mode, getting dressed, wearing appropriate clothing, getting there, getting access to anything. If you're unemployed and you've got access to get here to Sydney, I will give you a space to sit and I will give you some opportunity to keep learning and developing. I will basically mentor you. Happy to do that. I'll put you into our training academy. We offered our training academy at Best Practice. Anyone who's unemployed who reaches out to me on LinkedIn can have free access to all of our courses. But I need to see that your activity is that if you are unemployed and you're looking to become employed, you need to be doing 100-hour weeks. It's massive action. You need to, because what we're doing is we all underestimate the amount of effort we need to put in to achieve our goals. And Grant Cardone talks about that in the 10x rule or sell or be sold. It's 10 times. He's talking about 10 times more massive action. And I'm doing massive action. This morning, I started my day at 5 a.m. I read till 7 a.m. And then between 7 and 8 a.m., I got ready, and then I was here at 8:15. And I'll basically go through to 10 p.m. tonight. So I'll stop and have some lunch, and I'll stop and have dinner, but that is what I'm doing right now. Because it's an incredible opportunity right now. The whole economy is not feeling confident, and everybody's backed off. And you know what just happened? is the ocean just went calm and we can get out in front of people. Excellent. Fantastic. So what I want you guys to be thinking, thank you, Leslie, I appreciate that comment. So what I want you guys to be thinking of is I want you guys to be thinking of massive action. So I want you guys to be thinking of how much more effort do I need to put into this? Because I am guilty of all of these years in business. I have a great idea and then I think, yeah, excellent, I'm going to go. But I fail to acknowledge that it's going to take 10 times more effort to hit that goal at what my massive vision was. And it becomes half done along the journey. So that's something that I really want you guys to be considering in terms of how you do this, is what is that massive action. Okay, okay, thank you, Leslie, I appreciate that. I appreciate the comments. Okay, has anybody got any questions? If you don't have any questions, I'm going to call it a wrap. There's a few people asking me questions about what am I reading. If you guys are ready, if you've got pens poised and ready, I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books that I've got here in my armory. The first is The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. That's book number 1. So write that down. In the meantime, if you've got questions, type the questions in the comments. The next book is The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. An excellent book. I'm not recommending you crap. I've got 50 sales books. I'm giving you the best of the best. The next book is The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. And specifically in this book is the last 5 pages, not the last 5 pages, the appendix, which is questions for the head of an enterprise sales force, page 277. And this is you. If you are the leader of your organization, if you are somebody who's the leader of influencing, if you're like a general manager or a middle level manager in your organization and you're an influencer, you need to think about generically change these questions. But for Stan, for Charles, for Dane, for a few of the guys that you guys are business leaders, these are the questions for you. Can you effectively pitch your current company? How articulate are you on the company and the market opportunities that present to you? Will you be able to contribute to your own strategic direction of your company in a meaningful way? Do you know how to hire salespeople to help you? Can you describe a recent bad hire and what you would do to improve that? How do you find top talent? What percentage of your time do you spend on recruiting salespeople? And the same is, what percentage of your time do you spend on prospecting for the top of your sales pipeline? How many of your current people in your pipeline of sales people that you're currently interviewing want to sign up, but you can't employ them yet because you're not ready? So this is like enterprise sales type gap analysis, if you like, that I've been building. Could you pass your own sales interview test? Should you be able to? Do you know how to hire sales managers for the future? Can you define the job of business development and sales and influence in your organization? Can you test for those skills? Do you understand the business and the technical sales process? And have you got a training program to train people on that? Do you understand benchmarking, lockout documents, proof of concepts, demos, any of that part of that stuff that's part of your selling process? Contracts, tendering, writing tenders. Do you know how to train your salespeople? Because we all get frustrated, but we don't have training programs. And that's what I'm building right now. I'm building my own training program to train myself. Then I'll roll that training program out to my team. Then I'll probably roll that training program, or I will roll that training program out to you guys as well. This is part of that process. Do you run the process, or did you run the sales training process at your last company, or can you run your own sales training process? Are you good with CRM tools? You get my point. Like, it goes on. It's about 4 or 5 pages. So page 277, 278, 279. I'm building that into the sales training manual, but I don't want you to wait for me. Get yourself a copy of this book and go straight to the back. That's where the gold nugget is in this book. Obviously, start with Why by Simon Sinek. That's right back at the problem that you solve, the group of people that you seek to serve. That stands there. You're going to love this one. Selling in tough times. Judge the book by its cover. It's absolutely fantastic. I haven't read it cover to cover yet, but I've started marking pages that I'm interested in exploring and writing notes. The Little Red Book of Selling, 12.5 Principles of Sales Greatness, How to Make Sales Forever. How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. This is a great book. It's cartoons. So for those of you that like pictures, this one's full of pictures. It's absolutely excellent. It's a great little tips and tricks. You can take photos of it. You can give it to your sales team or anybody in your business that is customer facing to help them with sales. How to master the art of selling. And the next one, which is the one that I'm all over like a rash at the moment, is Sell Like Sirhan, which is this. There we go. It's a new book. I've started following this guy, and I have got almost every page bookmarked, which is a good indicator that it's a good book. I'm not ready to sort of talk a lot about it, but what I am interested in, specifically this particular page, which is the last point I'm going to make, is as you build your team, and everybody in your organization is selling your brand and your business, as you build your sales team and as you build your team out further, there are 3 key roles. And I don't think someone can do all of these. What's been defined here by Ryan, and I agree with it, I'm using it: finder, keeper, doer. Who are you? Like, are you the finder, the keeper, or the doer? We talked about hunters in sales and farmers. Right now, we need a finder/hunter. I'm good at that, but as I get caught up in running the organization, I lack the time to be able to do that effectively. So I want you to think about that for your organization. Do you have those 3 roles filled? The finder, the keeper, and the doer. Okay, that is it for me today in terms of sales and selling. I'm here to answer questions. Give me some comments there. Thank you, Stan. I appreciate your comments there on YouTube. Was this valuable for you guys? Did it give you a good introduction, insight into sales, and did it give you some stuff to think about? Let me know in the comments there, yes or no. Okay, I see a few of you guys, like some people have left. Clearly, I didn't bring them value. I think this is very important for you to control your destiny. This is the way you control your destiny, understanding and analyzing this process. Nolene, you're very welcome. I appreciate that comment. If you have got questions, if you want to know more about that, Simone, I appreciate your comments there. Helen, I appreciate your comments there. Stan, I appreciate your comments. So it is absolutely food for thought. I want you to do a deep dive. In earning money, sales is one of the most important skills that you have. In controlling your destiny and controlling your future, we could all do with a little bit more money. And the way we get a little bit more money is we get good at sales and influence, and we get really good at bringing benefits to more and more people. And the more problems that you solve for people, the more benefits that you bring to people, the more money you will make, and life gets easier as you have a little bit more money. So I do want you to focus on that. I know that one of the biggest gaps, and we're going to help people talk about this, one of the biggest gaps for people out there is actually going too deep into your technical area and not actually looking, hang on a minute, I need to actually do a bit more selling or a bit more business development. If you're employed, you've only got to do that once or 2 or 3 times a year. So it is something that I want you to think about. Ashley, you're very welcome. Stan, you're very welcome. New books, new ideas, learn, read, upload. Yes, correct. So the hunters, farmers, and keepers, or finder, keeper, doer, is definitely something we need to think about, because it's the person that, you know, if you find yourself saying, if I could just get an introduction and get the door open, I can get in there and I can do my thing, that means that you are a keeper or a farmer. If you are somebody who is like, I can get the doors open, but I need a team behind me to keep the work happening, that you're a hunter and you need some doers to help you. But this is the flow of the sales team. Who is the finder? If you are not a finder, if you're a farmer, if you're a keeper, if you're an administrator and a doer, then you've really got to support these people at the people that are the door openers. Okay, Niraj, excellent, mate. Do more, learn more about sales and marketing. It's really important for every organization. It's about money, right? It's about revenue. And when you talk about the business hierarchy of needs, if you don't have sales, you don't have a company, you don't have employment, you don't have anything. Sales have then got to be profitable. Then you can get organized, then you can make an impact, then you can leave a legacy. But you can't do all that amazing legacy, top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs stuff if you've got no money. And so sales, in my view, is one of the most important skills that we all need to do a better job of. So I want you all to rate yourself right now. I want you to think about, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate yourself on sales and selling? I'm going to give myself a 6. I've got a long way to go. I know I can learn it. I know where to access the information. I know I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to prioritize it in my weeks and my time and my day to make sure I'm doing learning and development. So I'm trying to do 1.5 to 2 hours of reading every single morning, even if I've got to start getting up a little bit earlier. There's a new puppy in our house, so I've got to get the puppy up at 5 o'clock to take it outside to go to the bathroom. So now more than ever, I'm doing that 1.5 hours, and I'm in a good discipline, a good routine. My next challenge is to go and do more workouts, more health and fitness. But sales and selling is really important, and I want you guys to be paying attention to that. Okay, if there's not any other questions, I'm happy to call it a wrap. We're 50 minutes, that's perfect. So please, if there's anybody that you think needs to hear this message, if you want to raise the conversation and talk more about sales, business development, and selling in your organization, you can reach out to me. You know I'm always here to answer questions. I'm working on building it out in our organization. I've been selling for 20 years. I'm starting to document and give you guys some tools on what I've been doing and how I've been successful, and I hope it's helping you guys. Okay, if you don't see me right here, you'll definitely see me next time on live on LinkedIn or live on YouTube at the same time. Keep improving every day. Focus on sales, and I hope to see you out there. If you've got any tips and tricks on what I can do to improve, let me know if there's any more content that you would like to know. Check out bestpractice.biz. We've now uploaded all the documents we've given everyone for free, so there's more templates. Go to bestpractice.biz, click on guides. You can get there and you can see all the great stuff. Okay, everybody, that is it. Thank you very much to Vanessa for your participation in the comments there. Thank you very much for Luke. Thank you very much for Alexi. Thank you very much for the marketing team. Thank you very much for Kelly Munstake for the work that you've been doing. The marketing team's been doing a great job. Vanessa has just posted the guides there. Indu, I appreciate your thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the applause. Do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that like button for me right now if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, so that the algorithm actually preferences our content and helps us get it out there. And more importantly, if somebody missed this presentation that really needed to hear it, if there's a business development or salesperson in your organization that can help me or I can help them, tag them in the comments. Go and find this video on my personal LinkedIn and tag that person so I can see who they are in your organization. That would be absolutely fantastic. And I will see you all very, very soon. Actually, we're live tomorrow. There's a live stream, same time tomorrow, talking about business management system. I'll see you all tomorrow.